first, content, right? Have you ever thought about, this came up for me, have you ever thought about why you're doing this? I've been thinking about it. Why am I writing? Why did I write my book? Why am I doing this content creator stuff? Why am I making videos? Why am I talking so much? Is it just for me? Is it purely self-centered? Is it purely selfish? That question popped up for me over the weekend. It was huge. It was like a revelation. Because I started making all this content, right? I wanted to. It was in me. I've been thinking about it for years. It's not as if it wasn't something that was in my sphere, right? It wasn't as if it wasn't in my realm, right? So I started doing all this content. I've already been in the content creation business, TV production, right? Documentaries, branded content. I've been in that realm for over 30 years. But this journey, this content creator journey, just another term for saying you're a storyteller, you've got wisdom, you've got stories to tell. I started going down this path thinking that this was something for me. This is what's something, the coaching, the storytelling, the growth, thinking about it's going to be good for my business and whatever else, whatever other stories I told myself, or my ego had told myself, right? But then it hit. What if it isn't just for me? So I've been cruising along, doing it, enjoying it. I love it. I'm learning so much. And I've been in the content creation business, as I said, for over 30 years. TV production, documentaries, 45 plus countries, BBC, Discovery Channel, IMG, Reuters, Adobe, Nokia, lots of big projects, right? Documentaries, branded content, documentary series, etc., etc. I've been a director of photography. That's the camera person. I've done sound. I've done loads of lighting, interviewed some fantastic individuals, famous people. Lionel Richie, Tyra Banks, Tiger Woods, right? Loads and loads and loads of people. Nelson Mandela, quite a few times, right? But I've been doing all this stuff, putting it out there, loving it, enjoying it, and wanting to give back, wanting to add value, right? My intention is pure. I know that. I know myself, right? I know who I am, right? My intention is pure. I have a lot to offer, a lot to give, a lot to circulate. I want to circulate. So all of the things, I'm not just doing it purely self-centered. I know that, right? I believe in the possibility. I believe in sharing. I believe in my prayer every morning is use me, God, use me. I am available. And I thank everyone. I thank family, friends who have passed, whatever. I thank people I haven't met yet. I acknowledge teammates that I still haven't met yet, right? So this content is, and it's also about taking action. Things have been very quiet in the TV business. If you're in LA or London, or I don't know about the rest of Europe, but things have been very quiet. So taking action is good too, not just waiting around, waiting for the phone to ring. No. There's a spiritual principle here. Circulation, giving, receiving, taking action is huge. So my intention for doing this is all spot on, as we say, right? I know that. But then it also clicked to me, right? Maybe there's another purpose for this. What about the people, my family, kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, who I've never met yet? This might be for you. So you get to know who I am on a deeper level. Because when you are a content creator, when you are sharing your voice, sharing your wisdom, sharing your story, right? You may be doing it at an energetic level that is different to what you might do with friends or family. Your kids, your time, your partner. Maybe you don't have the time or the energetic space to be sharing what you love truly, what you love deep down, right? Sharing your wisdom, your life stories, the examples, the experiences that you've had. Maybe you don't have the time or space to share those fully with your kids. We know how busy life can get, right? So that was interesting for me. It just dropped. It dropped. It reminded me of one of the... I'm going to have some more coffee. Excuse me. Slurping. It reminded me of one of the first biggest YouTube videos that was ever released. I think it may have been 18 years ago. 17 years ago. It was called The Last Lecture. I'll try and link it in the description, right? It's called The Last Lecture. I'm sure many of you have seen it. It was from a Carnegie Mellon University professor called Randy Pausch. Rest in peace. He passed. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Right? The Last Lecture. The spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's worth it. It's an hour. It takes up a lot of time. It is a lecture from an actual university professor. It's Carnegie Mellon, CMU, right? Spoiler alert. But watch it. Get a box of tissues and watch it. So, I watched that video many, many, many times. Many of the themes that he talked about, Randy Pausch, come up in my book, The Ramp. This is a beautiful example of manifestation, by the way, from the invisible to the visible. It's a tangible book, see? Check it out. Link is in the description. It's about dreams, believing in your dreams, soaring, transformation. The Last Lecture video was probably one of the biggest videos at the time on YouTube. It was huge, right? There was nothing bigger. Randy Pausch was a Carnegie Mellon University professor. It just so happened that they have a series at Carnegie Mellon, a series of lectures. What would you deliver? I'm maybe butchering it a little bit, but based around what lecture would you deliver if you were retiring, if this was your last lecture? Well, Randy Pausch had pancreatic cancer. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Okay, watch the video. I'm going to talk about it now. Right, Randy Pausch had pancreatic cancer. Right, they'd given him months to live. Again, I'm butchering details probably. But he didn't have long to live, so this literally was his last lecture, right? He talked about his dreams. He was a slight fellow. He wasn't big at all, but he had dreamt of being a professional footballer. In America, footballers are big, generally, right? It wasn't going to happen, right? He talked about sport, kids' sport, being a head fake for all the other great qualities you want to foster in your life for children. Leadership, teamwork, learning to win, learning to lose gracefully, right? I've sent this video to many of my kids' soccer coaches. Sadly, a few of them didn't really pay attention to it. All they focused on was winning, right? They missed the example. Randy Pausch, the video, The Last Lecture. Check it, right? He finishes the video. Spoiler alert, I'm giving it all away. Right? Watch the video. It's worth it. It's an hour. Bring some tissues. I'm going to continue. He finishes the video. He's talked for an hour, talked about his life, his dreams, what he accomplished, what he didn't accomplish, etc., etc. Many, many, many different examples. Now, he was a professor at a really well-heeled university, Carnegie Mellon, right? He ends the video and he says, and the biggest head fake of all, remember he talked about childhood sports as being a head fake? He says the biggest head fake of all is that this video isn't for you, and he points at the audience. This video isn't for you. I'm getting goosebumps. This video is for my children. Something, I'm paraphrasing, right? At this point, the audience, anyone who watches it, you're breaking down in tears. To a lesser extent, I don't want to diminish my experiences and my quote-unquote success, whatever that means for you. I don't want to diminish anything I've done. I'm proud of my journey. It's been undulating. Check out my other videos on aviation, metaphors, and elevation, right? However, my story is definitely not a straight line. Your life shouldn't be either, right? But I started thinking about all this content that I'm doing. What a great way, what a great legacy. What a great legacy for your children, for your grandchildren, for the ones that you haven't met, right? For the family that is coming in 50 years' time. What a great legacy, something to think about. Because I know that most of us have a voice, have a story, have something to say, right? This platform now, YouTube, is brilliant. It's free. Start publishing your content. Check out my courses. There'll be a link in the description. The Content Creator Cheat Code course. Five basic courses. Very organic, very simple, on purpose. They're not meant to be tricky. They're not meant to be fancy at all. I know this stuff very well. I've been doing it for 30 plus years, but I wanted to. This microphone's $26. Plugs right into your iPhone. USB-C connector. I wanted to create something that was super simple. So you could get started, so you could take action. Think about future generations. They want to hear about your story. They want to hear about your life. Photo albums are done. No one carries photo albums around with them anymore, but there'll be a record of your life online, in the cloud somewhere. Get over your fear of speaking to the camera. I cover that in my courses. There's 5 courses. They're $8.88 each. Grab them now. Log into my Stand store and get my courses. Get my book as well. And the products are on there as well. They're affiliate links, so I get a small piece of it, but it's a link. So I only recommend stuff that I use, that I know. This I use, it's great. The Sennheiser microphone is better, slightly better. It's $59 though. And I use these as well. I use these wireless microphones, JBL. Right, they're fantastic. But I only use them if I'm doing something at a distance. The wireless ones, you see people holding them. I digress, right? But do this. Even if you have fear of it, get over it. You'll get better and better and better. Do it for your family, your future family, for your legacy. That's why you should do it. And the world needs to hear your story and your wisdom, okay? So, if you've been wondering and you've been waiting off in the sidelines, waiting, perfection is a myth. If you've been waiting and you need that push to start, remember, your story matters. I believe that with all my heart. I'm sending you this because I believe it. Your story matters. Someone needs to hear it. And don't forget your legacy, your future family, your grandkids, your great-grandkids. They'll want to hear this stuff. They'll want to know who their grandparent was, where they come from, the stories, the legacy, right? So if you're hesitating, if you're wondering if your voice matters or not, it does. And I've got something for you. Check in the description. There is that link to my Stand store, right? I built these courses. There are 5 of them. They're very simple and very inexpensive because I want people to jump in and get them and start creating. Start leaving your legacy now. And this is the perfect platform. Photo albums are done. No one's carrying them around. Your kids aren't going to keep them, or they're going to fight over them anyway. This is available to everyone. Start creating, check in, and we'll see you again soon. Ciao.